So today, guys, we will discuss about the activities of independent system operator in bilateral market. So before going for that, let's have a quick recap of what we did yesterday. For the last two classes, we have been discussing about ISO in pool market. What are the responsibilities of ISO? And we have been discussing the activities of ISO on its timeline. And we have been discussing about what was the information in bids or auctions which are provided by the participants, primarily the GENCOs, and how many types of auction pools are there? There are two types, double auction pool and single auction pool. And we have seen what is the difference between these two and how market clearing price or the buying price for the electricity is obtained in these groups. And also we have gone through how the market settlements are made and while doing market settlements, and we have also discussed what is significance of J, and we have also tried how to maximize this J. This is what we have discussed in the last two classes. And we concentrated only on the independent system operator in pool market. This is what we have done. But today's class, we will be absolutely concentrating on independent system operator in bilateral market. So before going ahead, what is the objective of today's class? The first thing is to improve our knowledge on ISO responsibilities in bilateral market and activities of ISO on a time scale in bilateral market. Yes, we will be concentrating on. So we will be completely, what I can say is nothing but what is the role of ISO in bilateral market. Okay, so I will start with the responsibilities of ISO in bilateral market and what are the functions of bilateral ISO on a time scale. And next we will move on to how to model this transactions in bilateral market. How to model them and what are the conditions which will be there in bilateral market. That's what which we will be discussing in this particular class. But before going ahead, let's have a quick recap of what a bilateral market is. In a bilateral market, let us suppose these are all generators. G1, G2, G3, G4. D1, D2, D3. Let us suppose these are all buyers. These are all discoms and these are all GENCOs. These are sellers of electricity. Let us suppose if a pact is made between these two guys. So the thing is that deals or contracts are directly made between two parties. Preferably, one is seller and the other one is a buyer. They have directly made a contract between them on purchase of electricity. So what will they involve most probably? Let us suppose if I am a buyer of electricity, and if I go for the seller of electricity, what will I ask for? I will ask for a price, at what price he can offer me, and what is the quantity of electricity, and what is the schedule of electricity. Isn't it? These three are the common terms which will be there in the contract between the seller and the buyer. Okay. So I can directly say that the bilateral contract, this is the definition, simple definition. Bilateral contract or the deals or contracts between the seller and the buyer. And they can take place in numerous forms. Let us suppose, based upon these quantities which are involved, they can take many forms. Sometimes these transactions, what are the transactions? There are different types of transactions, basically. I will name a few things, few different types of transactions for you. Some type of transactions are firm transactions. Whenever I am, let us suppose if I am this one. Let us suppose this is Kushal. So let us suppose we have made a bilateral agreement for transfer of electricity. In that case, the contract may be a firm contract or a non-firm contract. So what is the difference between a firm contract and a non-firm contract? It is nothing but non-curtailable schedule. So what do you mean by that? If I make a firm contract, FIRM, firm contract with Kushal, that I do need 100 megawatts of electricity daily 24 hours at 10 rupees per hour. Then no matter what happens, even though there is any problem, this guy is supposed to offer me 100 megawatts, irrespective of the situation, what he says. This type of thing is called as firm contract, where the curtailing of electric power is not possible. That's why I have mentioned here, non-curtailable transaction. But sometimes a deal can be made between, let us suppose, if I have, this guy is having a deal with D3, 80 megawatts, or let it be 100 megawatts, daily 24 hours, but non-firm contract. Non-firm contract, which means that it can be adjusted. Let us suppose this 100 megawatts, if it is not available for him because of some of the other reasons, then he may reduce, he may adjust him by providing incentives. Even though if he is being offered at 10 rupees, let us suppose if he is not so strict on maintaining 100 megawatts. So let us suppose if there is any shortage here and he is capable of providing only 80 megawatts. So I will directly inform him, okay, I don't have 100 megawatts, I am providing 80 megawatts. And for this 80 megawatts also, I will offer you only at 5 rupees. So this type of transaction, where the electricity can be curtailed, these are called as non-firm bilateral transactions. Here, these type of transactions are called as firm transactions. Similarly, transactions can be short-term or long-term. This is based upon the duration of the contract. This guy may be asking for only 1 week. That is called as a short-term transaction. This guy may be asking for, let us suppose, 5 years. That is called as a long-term transaction. Okay. Or sometimes reserve or instantaneous. This is also one other type of transaction. Instantaneously to provide power right now itself. I have made a deal and I am asking him to directly provide the power. Let us suppose if this guy is having a reserve contract. Reserve contract means whenever he needs it, he will directly ask him and he is supposed to provide. That is called as reserve contract. So bilateral transactions can be of any type. They can be firm or non-firm. Another classification is short-term or long-term. Another classification is instantaneous or reserve. I'll be asking you for 1 mark or 2 marks. What do you mean by firm contract and non-firm bilateral contract? Or I may be asking you to explain the classification of bilateral contract. And there may be other types of contracts also, depending upon the market situation. But so far, I think these type of transactions, I hope you can pen down them well in the assignment or also in the examination. But if you come up with the new ideas of different types of transactions, then you can pen them down. Okay. And see, in all of these transactions, whether in all of these bilateral transactions, there is no third party involved, isn't it? Is there any third party involved? These are done between only two parties. One is the person who provides the power. He is not necessarily be a GENCO debtor. Don't be in a transparent. The seller is always a GENCO. The seller is not always a GENCO. Sometimes people will be acting on their behalf. I told you in the unit number 1 also, when we are dealing with market operations. Let us suppose there is some other broker here who handles all these operations, or a power marketer who acts on his behalf. So all these guys, they can be selling electricity to the lawyer. So sellers and buyers. The transactions between sellers and buyers is called a bilateral transaction. Okay. Now moving ahead. Now in all of these bilateral transactions, now we have been discussing about ISO, right? Now ISO, is there any role of ISO in finalizing this transaction? No. ISO will not involve in this bilateral transaction, which is on the sale of electricity. These two guys have directly entered into a bilateral contract for purchase of electricity, for sale of electricity, isn't it? And the ISO has no role, no part in this. Whether it is the schedule, whether this is the schedule, the price, or the quantity of electricity, it is their choice. It is the choice of the buyer and the seller. So ISO has no part in finalizing the unit commitment, the schedule, the quantity of electricity purchased, and the price of electricity. ISO, no job in the contract. Now, then what does the ISO do? Now the question arises, sir, let us suppose this is me, this is Kushal. I have made an agreement with Kushal, provide electricity of 100 megawatts daily, 24 hours at 10 rupees. This was the deal which was there on the paper, isn't it? And he is ready to provide electricity. And this Kushal is also ready to provide electricity to BP. Similarly, I have made agreement with this guy, Kushal, and also I have made agreement with this guy also to provide additional power for me. See, the combination of the buyers and the sellers, how the transactions are made. One person is not limited to one. It is a many-to-many transaction mode. Isn't it? I will be dealing with many number of people, and this guy is also dealing with many number of people. It is just there on the paper. It is a contract. And he is ready to sell. I am ready to buy. And the electricity must come from here to here. How it can be transferred? It can be transferred through only transmission lines. Isn't it? It can be transferred through only transmission line. Now, who is supposed to maintain this transmission line? Who is supposed to maintain this transmission line? Independent system operator will maintain the transmission line. Because let us suppose some other guy is there here itself, D4. I will before going any further, may I know how many of you are actually listening the class? Can you raise hands? So that I can go in detail. Okay. Right. So let's get back to the bilateral contract mode. So Kushal is there, and 63 she is also listening, and Shiva Prasad is also listening. Now let us suppose this is Kushal, who is having generator company 1, and Harshini is there, G2, and Shiva is there, and he owns another generator. Now, let us suppose this is our CR, Prasanna, who owns the generator G4, but these are located at the same point. Okay. Now, this is myself. This is my colleague. We are all buyers of electricity, but we are all located at a single point. Transmission lines can be from here to here, isn't it? This is line 1, line 2, line 3, this is line 4, line 5, and line 6. Now let us suppose I am taking an example that there is a deal with Kushal and PNR of 100 megawatts. I will make it as daily contracts, okay? Daily 24 hours it is to be supplied. Kushal to PNR at 100 megawatts. And Harshini has also agreed to provide me 100 megawatts. Also, Kushal has also agreed to provide my colleague 50 megawatts. Kushal has also agreed to provide 50 megawatts of power to my colleague AM. Now I am taking a simple case. And Harshini has also agreed to provide power to my colleague 20 megawatts. Now let us suppose this is the case. Now this is the case, and this is all ought to be done. Generally, we do take it as a half an hour cycle, 9:30 to 10 o'clock in the morning of 9/9/2021. This is the schedule, which they are ready. Now the question is, for this transaction, which line I am supposed to employ? From Kushal to myself, I am supposed to employ line number 1. Line 1 is to do the job. Whereas Harshini to PNR, which line I am supposed to use? L2 line I am supposed to use. Again, from Kushal to PNR, the line is L3. Again, Harshini to, sorry. What is the line from Kushal to AMR? AMR is connected here itself, right? So he has to suppose Harshini. So again this point, again they have to use L2. See now, see the clash here now. I do require power and my colleague also requires power. I require power and my colleague also requires power. Now the question arises. Who is supposed to receive the power? Now let us suppose if there is some other guy also. So it is also connected to this one. Let us suppose I take it as G5. Let us suppose now G5 is also there. I have made an agreement with G5 also. Then this is also to be done on line 1 itself because G5 is connected to here only. Now G5 is supposed to provide AMR also. Let us suppose what is the line now? L1. See how many transactions are there on L1? How many transactions are there on L1? Everybody wants L1 only. Kushal needs to transfer for me on L1. He needs to transfer to my colleague also on L1, and G5 also needs L1 for supplying both the plants. Now, there is only one transmission line now available. And this transmission line capability is only, let us suppose, 150 megawatts. But see, how much loading is being done here? 100, 50, 150, 10. How much it is there? 150, 300, 310 is the requirement. 310 is required. So who is supposed to take this transmission line? Who takes control of this transmission line? Now ISO will come into picture. ISO will allot this transmission line, this transmission capability based upon his expertise. On what basis? There are some meritorious things based upon the what I can say, based upon the previous transactions, based upon the goodwill, based upon the performance of these players, based upon the performance of these players, and based upon the priority of the request. Based upon the priority of the request. I will explain to you how priority. See, so many people have asked for requests for L1, right? This guy has asked, this transaction has asked for L1, this transaction has been asked, this one is the 4 transactions have kept a request for ISO to allot L1. This is it. Now L1 will be allotted to all these transactions based upon the priority order. And this priority order, the rules are already been laid out, and it will be surely a non-discriminatory thing. Now understood why ISO is required. ISO would laid అనుకున్నాం. ISO would లేకపోతే ఏమవుతుంది? నాకు తెలిసిన వాడికి మాత్రమే ఇచ్చుకుంటాను, వీడికి మాత్రమే ఇస్తాను, వీళ్ళకి ఇవ్వను. ఏఎంఆర్కి నేను ఛాన్స్ ఇవ్వను. ఇప్పుడు లెట్ సపోజ్ PNR is my friend. I won't give any option for PNR. Sorry, I won't give any option for AMR. I will give my entire capability to only transfer to PNR. అట్లాంటి జరగకుండా ఉండడానికి కోసమే ఇండిపెండెంట్ సిస్టమ్ ఆపరేటర్ని పెట్టారు. ఇండిపెండెంట్ సిస్టమ్ ఆపరేటర్ ఏంటంటే వీళ్ళతో ఎవరితో కానీ టచ్లో ఉండడు, ఉండని వాళ్ళనే సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకుంటారు. యూ విల్ చూస్ అన్ ఇంపార్షియల్ పర్సన్ who will provide non-discriminatory access to the transmission service. Okay, and that will be done based upon priority of the request. Understood now what is bilateral market? Transactions will be made bilaterally. These are all transactions which have been made bilaterally. But ISO is only monitoring the transmission services, and he provides access to the transmission services based upon the requests of these transactions. Understood now? So ISO, what he does, what is the role of ISO now? ISO provides only transmission service. Apart from that, what else he will do? Has he any authority over this one? How much power is being transferred? No, he has no authority, because the agreement is being done between these. The agreement is made between these guys, and the cost is also, it is a deal between these two. ISO has no role on how much power agreement has been done, how much price agreement has been done. What he does, he concentrates only on how to provide the available transmission service. Apart from that, he provides ancillary services. Yesterday we have been discussing ancillary services, isn't it? Frequency regulation, voltage regulation, reactive power regulation, maintaining of things. All these things he will be doing, ancillary services. So the role of ISO is very limited. He need not bother about finalizing the system prices and collecting bids, etc. He has no problem upon all these things. He is more concerned about providing access to the transmission services, offering ancillary services, and checking whether there is a congestion or not. Network traffic and so he ensures that there is no congestion in the transmission system, and the system is very reliable and secure. Understood now? Am I clear? Hope at least one or two have got an idea about what a bilateral market is. Have you got a picture of what a bilateral contract is? Bilateral market is? Yes? Anybody? Can raise your hand so that I can move ahead. అర్థమైందా ఒకటేనా? Bilateral marketing team. Very good. Darshini. Good. Yeah. So Sai also joined. Nice. So now, once again, a quick review. Children, ISO activities చూడండి. ISO activities ఏమైనా ఉన్నాయా? ISO activities are only limited to transfer of service. Sorry, providing transmission service, isn't it? And system security, reliability, and congestion management, ancillary services మాత్రమే ఉంది, isn't it? So what he does is nothing but he collects the requests and gives the services based upon the priority. Okay. Now yesterday day before yesterday we have been discussing, right? What are the activities on a timeline? Now let's quickly look back at the timeline now. All these activities now, again, we will be listing down on a timeline basis. Activities, yeah, the same activities of ISO on a timeline. On a timeline. Okay. So, what are the activities of ISO? What are the activities of ISO in so-called bilateral contract model? See, the role is very simple for him, right? So, on a timeline, let us suppose this is 9/9/2021. He is supposed to provide transmission service. This is real time. And this is 10/9/2021 or 11/9/2021. Anything is okay after real time. Okay. And this is 8/9/2021. This is 24 hours seconds. And our target is scheduling electricity on 9/9/21. This is our target, guys. So 9/9/21 కి ఎలక్ట్రిసిటీ మనం ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేయడానికి ఐసో ఏమేమి తీసుకుంటాడు, ముందు రోజు ఏం చేస్తాడు, ఆ రోజు ఏం చేస్తాడు, తర్వాత ఏం చేస్తాడు. సో ఏదైతే మనం వాట్ ఎవర్ ద థింగ్స్ విచ్ వీ హ్యావ్ డిస్కస్డ్ సో ఫార్, నౌ వీ విల్ పుట్ దెమ్ ఆన్ ద టైమ్ లైన్ బేసిస్. ఓకే. సో ఫస్ట్ ఏం చేస్తాడు, మనం ఎంతసేపు చదువుకున్నాం కదా, విన్నాం స్టోరీ, వీ హ్యావ్ హర్డ్ అబౌట్ ఆల్ ద స్టోరీస్ సో ఫార్. సో వాట్ హీ డస్ ఐసో, ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్, let us suppose this is a real time. Okay. So he receives information. He receives information. What sort of information he will receive? Hour-to-hour transactions. Hour-to-hour transactions for the next day. Who will provide these things? The participants. Normally, the GENCOs, they will provide this information. Okay. So he will receive the information of hour-to-hour transactions for the next day. Once the transactions are available for him, what he immediately does is nothing but he will immediately power flow simulation. మనం లోడ్ ఫ్లో చేస్తాం కదా, లోడ్ ఫ్లో క్యాలిక్యులేటర్ యూజ్ చేసి పవర్ ఫ్లో సిమ్యులేషన్ చేస్తాం. ఓకే, వీళ్ళు నిజంగా ఇంత రిక్వెస్ట్ పెట్టారు. ఎవ్రీబడి హ్యాస్ కెప్ట్ సో మెనీ రిక్వెస్ట్. ఇన్ ద లాస్ట్ స్టెప్ యూ హ్యావ్ సీన్ L1 capability is 160 megawatts, 150 megawatts, but the request was there for 310 megawatts. Isn't it? So he will perform simulations to find out what is transmission capacity and transfer capability. Both are different. Transmission capacity and transfer capability. Okay. So he performs simulations for the power flow. Once the simulations are completed, he will inform the state. Power flow simulations are done. So he will get a picture of what can be the power which can be transferred over this transmission line. Okay. If still there is an urgent requirement, then automatically what he does is nothing but he will make some provision, if possible, for additional transmission capacity. he will make some provision if available. And he also makes provisions for ancillary services also. He just makes provisions. He ensures that these are ready. For tomorrow's part, for 9, he is doing all these actions on 8 itself. He is collecting the information based upon the received information. He is making some simulation, checking whether the transmission lines can transfer that one or not. And next, what he is doing, if there is any urgent requirement, he goes with additional transmission capacity, and he must be ready with ancillary services also. Once all these things are done, the moment the time happens, he will just monitor. What he will monitor? The power flows. You know all the electrical variables, right? V, I, P, F, etc., etc., etc. All these things he will be monitoring the power flow. He will be just monitoring the things. And let us suppose if frequency is dropping, it is his responsibility, right? ISO's responsibility to maintain frequency or voltage or something. So what he does is nothing. He interacts with the people. He interacts with the regional to maintain frequency or to maintain parameters. I will directly write parameters to maintain the parameters. So this is second one. This is first one. This is second one. So he monitors the power flow, and if he finds that anything is deviating in the regular variables, he just interacts with the regional network, and sometimes control rooms will be there. So he interacts with them to maintain these parameters of frequency, voltage, reactive power, etc. Okay. And let us suppose if there is any requirement, sudden requirement is there, then power imbalance handling. If there is any mismatch of power, let us suppose if some buyer has asked for power and generator has not kept his word because of some natural problem or some natural disaster or some sort of problem. So this guy, he will try to provide power imbalance. So now at the end of the day, everything is being dispatched. Now what he does settlements, money settlements or monetary transactions, right? What money he will collect? For what services he will collect? Will he collect for entire price of electricity? No, he will not collect for price of electricity. He will collect money for only transmission services and ancillary services. He collects money for transmission services and ancillary services, and he uses the money for those who have provided this ancillary services. So, let us suppose control rooms or regional networks who helped him to maintain this parameter. So, those are called as ancillary services. So, who provided ancillary services? They will be provided money by collecting them from the participants. Understood now? What the transactions are and how these are being done in a bilateral market. Is it okay, guys? Now, moving on. Now, I hope you have understood what is the activities of ISO and bilateral market on a timeline. Now, before closing, I would like to introduce you to one more thing. As I have already mentioned, there will be so many number of buyers, so many number of sellers in the market, right? And everybody will be doing their own bilateral transactions if there is no pool, isn't it? In that case, these bilateral transactions are to be entered somewhere, isn't it? Because for the record sake or for whatever. So now the question arises, how to model these bilateral transactions? Let us suppose if you want to feed it and do some analysis on the system, you should model it into some sort of mathematical equation, right? So now, I think we do have sufficient time. So I will introduce you to bilateral transition matrix. We often call it as BTM, which is generally employed for modeling of bilateral transactions. It gives information on bilateral transactions. It gives information on the bilateral transactions which have been happening between various parties. Yes. Normally, how to construct this bilateral transition matrix? There is a principle called as column rule and row rule. The normal one which we employ in our mathematics. Column rule and row rule. This rule is applicable for filling of this BTM matrix, and there will be an ensurement that whatever the elements in this BTM matrix will be like this. Column and row. And it will be ensured that each of the element which is entered into this BTM matrix, it satisfies the basic constraints of demand-supply balance. Our concept is whether demand and supply are balanced or not. If they are not balanced, BTM is not properly filled in. So it is ensured that demand and supply are balanced. So I think I will discuss these things, BTM, in detail, how to write a BTM and how to model a BTM, how to generally represent a bilateral transaction. That I will explain to you in the next slide. But so far, I hope you have understood what we have been discussing since the start of the class. We have got introduced to what was the outcome for today? What is the outcome for today? What we have studied so far. We laid this bilateral transaction matrix. We'll discuss it tomorrow again. So I think the time is already 10:25. So far what you do remember. The first thing what we have discussed. Can I expect that you are now able to explain in detail the bilateral market? Can I expect that? Anybody in the class? You can raise your hand so that I'll come to know that if you are ready to explain bilateral market. Good. At least one is ready. Second thing is, can you list the activities on a time scale? Yes. Again, it is one. Can anybody? Yes. Good. The last one is, can you compare ISO, the activities of ISO in pool markets and bilateral markets? I hope you can do that one, right? Regarding the bilateral transaction matrix, tomorrow we will discuss in detail, and then we will come to an end for this